Now, live from Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX, the Greenburgh Report, with Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 WVOX, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor. The month of October is probably the most fun month of every year. And one way that residents of Westchester can have even more fun is by attending a great show sponsored by the Riverside Theater Company. And basically, on October 21st and October 22nd, there'll be a performance of Riverside Haunts by Meghan Covington. And it's October 21st and October 22nd, 7:30 p.m. The Good Witch Coffee Bar is an outdoor performance. And October 23rd, 7:30 p.m., Bethany Arts Community, which is an indoors facility. So, Meghan, thank you very much for joining us. And maybe you could just start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Paul. I am the artistic director of Riverside Theater Company, and our mission is to reflect the human experience, spark conversation, and inspire social change through theater. We're a nonprofit organization. We started the company, my husband and I actually started the company in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, so it wasn't ideal timing to start a small theater company. But since then, we've grown. Every performance brings in new audience members. We have more funding this year, so our shows, our productions are getting a little bigger, and hopefully we'll get a good crowd to come out this October for Riverside Haunts.
That is, that is great. Could you tell us a little bit about what Riverside Haunts is about?
Sure. So it's a spooky storytelling experience set to live music. And all of the stories are inspired by real Rivertown history or Hudson Valley history. So I wrote the show, and it features 5 different stories. And each of those 5 stories are told by a ghost, from the perspective of a ghost. So we have 5 really brilliant actors portraying these ghosts. We have 2 musicians that play alongside them. So not only are there musical interludes in between the stories, but there's also music played during the stories by a really great duo. They're the Moonwives. That's their band name. It features Joanna Levine and Jupiter Dune. They create a really nice, spooky atmosphere. So it's a unique show.
That's great. Now, you have both an outdoor show on October 21st, and that's at, and it's, I guess, a great location, the Good Witch Coffee Bar.
Yeah.
And that's outdoors. And then you have one at the Bethany Art Community. Where is that located?
Bethany Arts Community is in Ossining. It's a fabulous space. Every weekend they have something new to see, whether it's visual art or music or performance. So we were very delighted to be invited to perform in their space.
If you're watching it outdoors at a Good Witch Coffee Bar, does that give you a different feel than an indoor show?
Yeah, absolutely. Outdoor, I feel like it will be, it will feel a little bit more like a festival, right? So there'll be food and drink. People can come early to kind of commune at the Good Witch Coffee Bar, which is going to be really fun. At Bethany in the theater, it will be a more intimate performance. So it might feel, I don't know, a little spookier in a way, right? To be up close and personal with the performers.
Great. We have to take a short break. And again, Riverside Haunts by Meghan Covington will be, you could see it October 21st and October 22nd at either the Good Witch Coffee Bar or Bethany Arts Community Center. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we'll be right back.
WVOX. Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we're talking with Meghan Covington about a relatively new theater company, River's Edge Theater Company, and they're having two performances, October 21st at the Good Witch Coffee Bar. It's a Halloween-themed show, Riverside Haunts, and October 23rd, the next day, 7:30 p.m. at Bethany Arts Community, an indoor facility in Ossining. And I was sort of thinking during the break, if somebody wants to have like a really great time and they want to buy tickets to, say, Hamilton, it may cost them $1,000. And if they want to have a lot of fun, maybe even more fun, and they see Riverside Haunts, what's the ticket price?
$25.
And some of the $25 goes to
Riverkeeper. Riverkeeper is a nonprofit organization based in Westchester, and they protect the mighty Hudson River from source to sea. So we thought it might be an appropriate organization to give back to.
So on October 21st and October 22nd, you could save hundreds and hundreds of dollars by seeing a really great show, Riverside Haunts, written by Meghan Covington. In terms of your actors and performers, how did you find them?
Yeah, we are so lucky in Westchester to have so many creative, talented people that live right here. So often we don't even have open auditions because we just connect with other actors in the community. We know them, they're our friends, they're our neighbors, and we invite them to either audition or we just say, hey, can you play this role for me? So it's actually a very vibrant theater community up here. Sometimes we outsource a little bit. So we had auditions for this show, and we have two actors that are joining us from the Bronx as well. But the other three are based right here in Westchester.
It's very difficult for community theaters all over the country. How did you overcome some of the obstacles that others haven't been able to overcome?
Oh, yeah. Well, when the pandemic hit, we were just still so new to the game that we weren't quite sure how to handle it. But we shifted very quickly to virtual performances. And so that helped us grow in a time where when other theaters were dark, and they saw no growth, no audience retention. We were bringing new people in and reaching people not only locally, but all over the country as well, because we were able to do Zoom performances. So we did some storytelling shows throughout the pandemic on Zoom. I wrote a Zoom play specifically for Zoom, like characters speaking to each other on Zoom. And we also did a special cold reads show where actors would be given a script right before they were about to go on, and they would just have to read it and perform in front of a live audience. So yeah, that helped us through. And then eventually we made it back to in-person performance.
Did you and your husband go into study acting in school?
We did. Both of us our degrees are in theater, and we worked professionally as actors for many years. But once we started having kids, we have 3 beautiful daughters, we were ready for a little bit more stability. The life of an actor is not an easy one. So we kind of forgot about theater for a few years, but it's funny. It just pulls you right back after a while. We missed the making of theater, the collaboration. We missed the rehearsal process, the performances. Not so much the business side of it, but we missed making theater. So we said, hey, let's do it on our own terms.
Where did you perform?
When I was performing, I lived in Washington, D.C., so I've performed at the Kennedy Center, I've performed at Woolly Mammoth Theater Company and the Shakespeare Theater Company, just to name a few. Mostly stage work, a lot of Shakespeare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there's also a Shakespeare company in Irvington.
Yeah, there is. I know Comran. Yeah, it's a great company.
That is great. If you were giving other people who love theater advice, what advice would you give them if they wanted to set up their own company?
Oh, yeah. If you want to set up your own theater company, be prepared to devote a lot of time and energy to it. I was surprised going into it how time intensive it really is, and how challenging it is to raise funds and pay for the theater company, because we do pay our actors, we pay our production team. We're trying to pay them more little by little, and that it takes a lot of work to raise funds and apply for grants, that kind of thing. I should give a big shout out actually to Arts Westchester, because Riverside Haunts this year and also last year was funded partially by the Arts Alive grant. We received funding from Arts Alive, and we're so grateful for their help.
That is, that is great. Are there other foundations that you've reached out to?
We have applied for a few over the past year or so since we've received our nonprofit status, but we have not received funds from any other organization as of yet. But we're still working on it.
So you have to write a show about people not getting discouraged.
That's right.
That could be your next show. How you could apply, get rejected, apply,
You gotta
and
just
eventually
keep
you'll
at
get
it.
it.
Yes, you got to keep at it.
That is great. We'll be right back after the break with Meghan Covington, and she's talking about Riverside Haunts, a show October 21st in Hastings at the Good Witch Coffee Bar. That's at the Hastings train station, and October 23rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Bethany Art Community, which is an indoor show. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Thank you.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we're talking Meghan Covington of River's Edge Theater Company about her show, Riverside Haunts, and that's October 21st and October 22nd, 7:30 p.m. And in your publicity about the show, you recommend the show for mature audiences only. So you recommend that like small kids not go.
Correct. I don't think it's appropriate for small children. Probably 13 and older. Older teenagers and adults would.
So that would be great. And we mentioned that when you write a show, how long does it take to write a show like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. It varies probably from person to person, but this particular show I started writing last January. So throughout the winter I was writing. I really buckled down this spring to put the finishing touches on it. And then I've had actors kind of gather and read it out loud for me. That was this summer. And then there are more drafts to come after that. So it's been a long process writing a story, 5 different stories. It's a 1-hour show, but it's pretty time intensive.
And for the outdoor show, do people have to bring their own chairs?
They do not. They can come. We have chairs for them. There'll be lots of seasonal beverages and treats at the Good Witch. So feel free to come early. I think as early as 6 p.m. before the shows. The Good Witch will be open and ready for you.
And with global warming, hopefully it will be it will be
a nice warm
it will be like
October
today.
night.
Right.
Yes.
So that would be good. I guess Riverside haunts hopes for global warming for one day a year.
Right. We're not a fan of global warming, but we are hoping that it will be a beautiful evening for those two performances, and just dress appropriately too. You might want to dress in layers. But last year we had one of our performances. This is our second year doing Riverside Haunts. Actually, all new stories this year.
Last year I attended. It was in Irvington, right?
In Irvington. Oh, we did a show in Irvington called The Parking Lot.
Right, I went to that.
Yeah, my husband and I starred in the show opposite of each other, and it was called The Parking Lot, and it took place in the parking lot of the Main Street School in Irvington.
Right. In terms of how do you, when you say you're getting performers, what type of performers are you looking for this type of show?
Oh, yeah. Well, I always try to find experienced performers, but also for this particular show, we really want somebody who is able to connect with the audience. If you think about a storyteller, it's not a regular scene where you would play opposite of another actor and have a conversation, but the storyteller is interacting directly with the audience. So it's important for the actor to be able to really be comfortable getting up close and personal with the audience.
One of the unique aspects of your company is that you donate some of your proceeds to charity. Mm-hmm. And how did you select the Riverkeeper?
Well, we thought that we wouldn't have any of this rich Hudson Valley history to draw from if it wasn't for the Hudson River. We all love to be near the river. That's why we live in the river towns, or even in Westchester. And we figured Riverkeeper protects our beloved river, and we want to keep making history in the Hudson Valley for years to come. So it seemed to tie in well with the theme of the show.
When you make donations to a charity, do you ask that charity to help publicize
Sure.
as a way of getting people to attend?
Yes, that's always helpful. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We've definitely worked with bigger organizations that don't really have time to publicize our shows. We've given proceeds many times to the Innocence Project, and they're very busy doing what they do in terms of social justice reform. So sometimes we totally welcome that help in spreading the words, but we don't expect it.
What made you choose the Innocence Project? Because I remember attending one of your shows.
Yeah, you were in one of the shows.
That's right, and I'm not even an actor. I could put on my resume. I was
That's
an actor
right.
Now.
You were in a Rivers Edge Theater Company show. That one is called Two Truths and a Lie, and it's a storytelling show where we have normal people telling stories, and the audience has to guess who is lying and who is telling the truth. So we decided to give funds to the Innocence Project because they help exonerate people who have been wrongly convicted of crimes through DNA evidence. So it just seemed like an appropriate organization. And so each time we've done Two Truths and a Lie, we give proceeds to the Innocence Project.
That is great. Are there any other charities you've helped since you've started?
Yes. Feeding Westchester was one. We've also given to One Love, which is relationship health. We've given to the Laleka Foundation for Ukraine. What was the last one we did? I'm blanking now, but every show that we've done, basically, we've given funds to another organization.
So you have like a lot on your mind. You have to get the actors, you have to write the show, you have to publicize the show, and then you have to figure out who to donate to.
Yes, there are a lot of moving pieces here. I often feel like I'm doing probably 3 full-time jobs, maybe 4 full-time jobs, all rolled into one. But I must say that we do have help sometimes. We have people who are helping with us with the marketing. We have people that help us with the graphic design, and we're very grateful for all of our volunteers too.
Right. For October 21st, do you have like a rain date or?
We don't. We're hoping that the weather is going to be marvelous, but there is plenty of space. I think both the Good Witch and Bethany are pretty large spaces. So if it rains one night, maybe those who are scheduled that night would transfer to a different evening.
Oh, that's good. And we have a caller. I'm Paul Feiner. We'll take the phone call. Hello?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. How's everything?
Okay, my name's Armando. I usually call on Dennis's shows in the morning.
Okay.
But I found out, I was just thumbing through the channels and on the radio and everything. I found out that find this to be pretty interesting.
That's good. Thank you.
The question is, we had a beautiful dinner theater in Elmsford, and they closed it down. There was a lot of great shows that used to come over once in a while. And my question to the lady is yours a dinner theater as well?
It is not a dinner theater. Unfortunately, Riverside Theater Company doesn't have an official space. We have to rent space and hold performances all over Westchester. So one day, the goal is to maybe have a space of our own, a theater space of our own. And at that point, maybe we can think about creating dinner theater. But at this point, we are a little bit smaller scale, but at least we have that, those goals on the horizon.
But if you go to the Good Witch show on October 21st, there'll be food because
there will be food there.
But you'll have to pay for the food, but it's still cheaper than even the Broadway theaters or the Westchester Theater because it's only $25 and it's an outdoor performance. And I've gone to some of the shows and they're really a lot of fun and a lot of energy. And I think you'd have a great time.
Well, let me ask you this: did you ever, you or your husband ever stop to look at the place where the dinner theater was? Could you guys afford something like that? Or
that's a great question.
That's going to be a warehouse.
I know. I think it's already sold. We did think about that. Unfortunately, at this point, we don't have enough funding to buy a space that big. But if anyone out there is listening and would like to donate to River's Edge Theater Company, you could always go to riversEdgetheater.com or just Google.
I just thought it would have been really, really cool because you sound like you and your husband are very, very excited about what you're doing. And I was just thinking, a place that size, you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You could have your shows the way you want, plus with food and everything else like that. You people will be making a fortune in no time.
Oh.
That's great. So all you need is like $1 million donation.
Yes.
And then you could rent the.
And then I can make it happen.
That's right. So now you have a goal, right?
Exactly.
Good. Well, thank you. And again, I hope to see you at the show. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor. Do you have a website?
Yes, it's riversedgetheater.com. And that's theater with an R-E.
riversedgetheater.com.
WVOX.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and I just want to remind our audience that Riverside Haunts by Meghan Covington will be performing October 21st and October 22nd. There's two performances, the Good Witch Coffee Bar on October 21st at 7:30 p.m., and that's in Hastings. It's overlooking the Hudson River, so it's a beautiful venue. You could watch a show and you could look at the spectacular river, and there's a lot of fun activities in Hastings that you could enjoy even before the show. On October 23rd, 7:30 p.m., Bethany Art Community Center in Ossining. And I want to mention again, what's your website?
It's riversedgetheater.com, and that's theater with an R-E, not an E-R.
And people would get their tickets there?
Yep, right on our website. Plenty of links.
And the tickets, again, are $25, and 10% of the ticket sales go to Riverkeeper. So for $25, you could have a really fun time, and it's probably even more fun than going to a Broadway show.
Yeah, closer to home. You save time traveling, too, and money on the babysitter.
And Hastings and the River Villages have so many artists. I remember when I first ran for office, it was like amazing. I'd go to the train station campaign, and I'd see people with their big, not briefcases.
For their art.
Yeah. It's like
their portfolios.
The portfolios is like the arts capital of the Hudson Valley.
Yeah,
I think
it's a great place to live.
That is great. You mentioned during the break that now with COVID, it's hard for theater companies because they have to prepare for somebody getting sick.
Yes, that is. It makes it a bit more stressful. For this show, we have hired understudies to be prepared to step in for anybody, and just in case somebody gets sick, knock on wood, everybody will be healthy. But we also take extra precautions. We have to mask while we're rehearsing. Everybody needs to mask unless they're on stage. We test them before rehearsal and then before performance as well. Because we also don't want to put someone who has COVID on stage and not know that they have COVID, right, in front of a group of people. So we're extra cautious.
Right. And I guess you have to, during these, these times, do the understudies, since you only have two shows, do the understudies do anything if nobody's sick?
Actually, no, they don't get to do anything, unfortunately. But they do get to put the credit on their resume, which is also beneficial. They have one more credit there. But it's also fun to be part of the cast and that whole collaborative community feel while making theater. So I think our understudies are on board with that.
You were mentioning, that it takes, that you started writing the show in January, so it takes a lot of time to prepare for a show. Do you find it sort of frustrating that there's only two performances?
Yeah, we have three performances, actually. It's the 21st and 22nd at the Good Witch, and then the third performance at Bethany. So
okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah. So we have three, but still only three performances.
For all that work.
Yeah, for all that work. And, I think next year we have some plans in the works already where we're planning for longer runs. But we also don't want to plan, a 6 to 8 show run and then not have our audience to come fill those seats. So I think gradually we're adding more and more performances in as our audience grows too. So
Right. We were talking also about the history of the Hudson Valley, and that's part of your show.
yeah, we take history from the Hudson Valley, and I've expanded upon it in a creative way. So, for example, one of the stories features a man named John Holbert, who was the executioner at Sing Sing. He was an electrician who ran the electric chair for many years. And so taking that bit of history, I kind of used fiction to fill in the blanks, like why did he have that job and how did he feel about it? And so we'll get to experience that story on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
Oh, that is that's great. Your husband has been very helpful to you.
He has.
And it's a husband-wife team. Is it difficult to have a show that's sort of co-produced with your husband?
Yes. Well, we had mentioned earlier that we were both in one of the shows that you had seen in the parking lot, and after that we decided that it will be a long time before both of us could be in the show at the same time again, because it was just a lot of work for us to both be committed to the project. So right now we kind of juggle when one of us, like I'm taking on this Riverside Hans project. David is being super supportive in terms of, he's the one taking care of our 3 kids and doing the dishes that I left in the sink because I had to run here to get on the radio.
So I apologize to your husband for having to do the dishes.
I'm sure he's fine.
That's great. In terms of the hours you have to put in to this, I mean, there's so many aspects of producing a show.
Yeah.
And do you spend full time at this?
Yes, I do. I also, it's not my, let's say it's not my money-making job. I also am a yoga teacher and a personal trainer and run a small fitness business. But I got to say the theater company has become more of a full-time job, especially in these weeks when we're doing rehearsals and things like that too. It's very time-intensive. So there's a lot of juggling happening, but it's all good. I mean, the theater and the arts elevate our experience. They elevate our experience as the artist, but they also elevate the community and those who get to experience the art as audience members or patrons. So,
by being a yoga instructor and practicing yoga, does that make you calmer during these these shows?
No. Yeah, no, I'm joking. Yes, it does. I totally do still get nervous or sometimes get stage fright, or it's nerve-wracking hearing your writing read out loud, but yoga and meditation definitely help sometimes. Just taking some deep breaths can always help. And
we only have like a minute left, but are there any surprises when you said, "Oh, you're going to form this company"? Is this basically what you anticipated?
What I anticipated. Yes. The beautiful thing is that I thought about it and then I'm doing it. We're doing it, which is kind of amazing. Like, it was just a conversation and a thought while my husband and I were sitting down to eat dinner together, and that conversation is now a reality, and that's pretty special.
That is really great, and you're providing the community with fantastic another entertainment venue. And are you getting a lot of support from like the local media and the community?
We try, yeah, we try to get a bit of support. The Rivertown's enterprise has been super supportive. They cover all of our shows. We'd love to get more shout outs from other publications if anybody's listening and wants to help us spread the word.
Have you tried the Hudson Independent and River Journal?
Yes, they've covered us. Hudson Independent has covered us before. River Journal has not, although, maybe one day they will. We send them our press releases.
Great. So we ran out of time, and guest is Meghan Covington and Riverside Haunts, and you could check their website, Rivers Edge Theater, theatre.com, and the price of a ticket is only $25, and 10% of the tickets go to Riverkeeper. October 21, October 22, and October 23 are the performances at the Good Witch Coffee Bar in Hastings, the 21st and 22nd, and Bethany Art Community Indoors on the 23rd. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor.